Welcome to the first
inaugural
thing of us.
Yes, it's
and
good.
Who are we?
Well, I am Matt.
I'm Freak. And we're two Australian males who've known each other since we were both 5.
Yeah, thereabouts.
We went to the same kindergarten.
We did.
And then primary school.
And then I had a sweet, sweet break from you through the high school years where I thought I was out.
Yeah.
And then I got dragged back in, and here we are today.
Yeah, you went to a school with girls.
Yeah, it was good. You went to a school with boys?
Yeah.
How did you find that?
Not as fun, obviously.
Yeah.
But
do you think it would have mattered, though, if you'd been at the school with girls? Do you think... I mean, I'm not saying anything, but...
I would have had less beatings, I think.
Okay.
Or more. Because of maybe the girls would have had
you couldn't have had less sex, let's be honest. So, okay.
But, you know, we're two people that know each other well, and as such, we decided to put together a show which we're going to call TUMESCENT.
We were going to call it TUMESCENT. The other thing we were going to call it was, remember we briefly discussed calling it Labia?
Oh, Labia.
Labia. Oh, that's... You know what I like about this show so far? We've been literally on it. Fuck you. Hasn't someone got delusions of grandeur? This show's been on for 30 seconds and we've already used some seriously big vocabulary for the kids.
Probably the YouTubers are going to have to...
They'd probably have to Google that stuff. So we've got Labia, we've had TUMESCENT, and I think we used inaugural at the start. So.
But did you say Labia or do you go Labia?
I'm a Labia man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm Australian.
I just call it menorah.
I call it Majora.
Maybe
potato, my friend.
And we're here today to talk about Skeletor. Now, for people that don't know Skeletor, and that would be anyone under the age of 30.
It's a good one to lead out on because we're not at all discluding any of the listeners whatsoever by doing such a horrendously niche 1980s reference this early on.
No, but we've got some pictures, don't we, of Skeletor, and for anyone that's interested, the origins of Skeletor, which brings up many questions, but I think we need to give a little bit of backstory for those that don't know. Okay. And that would be everyone.
So we're talking about...
Females.
Females mostly, older males, younger males.
Yeah, younger males.
Sorry, I'm fixated on older males. So basically, we're talking about He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, which you're right when you think, by God, that's a big call, to be a master of the entire universe.
I know. That always bothered me.
They set the bar high. If it helps you at all to remember, you might think of it as that extraordinarily, I think it's fair to say, homoerotic show from the 80s where there was lots of very well-muscled men.
They were beautifully muscled. I always call them in my head sons of the solar system.
Well, that's
because I had the same problem about the universe. It was they're gods, in other words, of the whole universe, yet they don't seem to leave Eternia.
Well, my problem is not that they're gods of the whole universe. It's just a fucking big job, isn't it? I mean, there was, 18 of them tops? And to master the whole universe?
But to stay in that shape.
That's it, in between workouts, to keep on top of the entire universe.
Extraordinary physiques.
Like, constantly in the solarium, constantly running around in your underwear, just pumping iron, fighting.
Hardly any clothes.
And at the same time, oh shit, what's happening in the Horsehead Nebula? Better get over there and sort that out. Bullshit. Couldn't be done.
Basically, but it was a good versus evil. He-Man, who was a rather effete prince.
Chiseled. He went from an extraordinarily effete prince to a slightly less effete...
But just vanilla. He was a vanilla hero who ran around in his underwear,
Nordic,
and managed to
fucking Nordic.
But managed to sort out all the problems with a sword, which he energized with a lightning bolt and something about a castle.
And on the dark side, of course, Skeletor, which was basically He-Man from the neck down, but with a skull head, and various collection of bizarro henchmen, all well-muscled.
Extraordinarily well-muscled.
Extraordinarily, some with multiple eyes or beast-like faces, but all with those goddamn abs. So,
do you think, just going to ask you, this is like the halftime report for us, do you think we're going to Homoerotic on our
Too early? Too early. Well, look, it's just when we let out with that 80s reference and I said we cut out anybody under the age of sort of 35, at least now we're going for the gay market. It's not too late to claw it back. If we can get the women involved and, maybe talk about some youth issues.
Yeah, next week.
We should be there.
We'll do vaginas.
Okay.
But, so, back to the point, which is...
I think the point is that we chose not to do vaginas first. I think that is the point.
Skeletor is something that we've both been intrigued by, I think, because there's a lot of questions there. For me, it was how does he see? How does he lick his lips? How does he hear?
He doesn't have lips, so I think that's how he licks
his
lips.
But how? then he must be in excruciating agony.
Oh, I would just say very dry mouth, extraordinarily.
Does he
dry.
use moisturizer?
He doesn't have a tongue.
How can he talk?
Well, let's see. These are the questions. This is what we're here for.
The actual origin story, which has never been revealed to me.
No, I only found it today as well.
So it turns out he was a rather handsome prince with a goatee.
Fetching with, well, what do you know, a great physique. And somehow, using his own vile weapon, as what tends to happen to vile villains, it turned against him and pretty much melted his face off.
He was fighting He-Man's father, I think.
Was that what it was?
Prince Randor.
To be honest with you, I didn't watch it to the end. I got a little bit bored. And
you lost the concentration.
Yeah.
Much like
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we learned that basically it's acid in the face. He gets like acid. Prince Randor has a shield. The acid ball of acid bounces back at him.
What are the fucking chances? Like, what are the chances? Yep.
And then he comes back and he says, "I'm dying." Now I don't know how you can actually die just from disfiguring facial burns.
Well, I'm sure there's plenty of people in the burns unit who'd be happy to have that conversation with you. If your face is melting off, there's a decent chance. And I'm no trained medical professional, but there is a decent chance you may die.
Of what?
Infection would be my first one.
Yeah,
A melting face.
But he's got a magician next to him.
Ah, yeah. Well,
a witch.
And therein lies
that's the rub.
Yeah.
And so he basically conjures up some dark, malevolent spirit, probably Satan. We don't know. Some Dark Lord. We didn't know about this Dark Lord, but there is a Dark Lord.
Yes.
A Dark Lord even darker than Skeletor.
Shit, that's dark.
And he says basically, look, I'll fix you. There'll be a price. Now
I'm always suspect on when like dudes appear in a cloud of mist and say, there is a price.
You know what my question would be? Before, even though excruciating pain and so forth, I'd be like, wait, just the terms of the price. What is the price? He's like, anything.
You know what I'd say? What are you going to do about this fucking melted face of mine?
Well, but you know what?
Before we get to the price, what are you going to do about the melted face, dude? Because, we need to get that sorted out.
You know what the answer is, though? Just remove all the skin.
Remove it all together and leave you the skull head.
Skull head.
Ah, good deal.
Now, there's a picture here, and you can see from behind, which is, we've never seen him without the hood, back into his skull, and it doesn't appear to have a neck or any sort of connecting vertebrae.
It's a floating head.
It's a floating head. So
what you're saying is this deal is getting worse and worse with every passing minute.
So some things that I would miss if I had a skull and no flesh on my face.
Eyeballs, eyebrows.
I'd miss people understanding my facial expressions.
Not for you though. I mean, I know people can't see this, but you've got extraordinary teeth. Extraordinary.
I was born with adult teeth.
They're prominent. Let's just say
I scraped my mother on the way out.
They're prominent.
That's where her labia problem came in.
Wow. Sexy. So you'd be okay. I'd still know it was you.
Yeah.
But, you'd miss the neck as well, I assume?
I'd miss the neck, but I think I'd miss...
tongue?
I'd miss kissing.
God, you're a romantic. So you see what you're learning? It's like...
But I'd miss taste.
Taste would be big.
Smelling.
Smelling would be big. Hearing, no ears.
Imagine if I had a cold.
Well, you wouldn't, because it just runs straight out, pretty much. No nose, no mouth, no neck. It's hard to have a head cold when you're an empty skull, I think.
But he can drink, and he can...
Can he? I've never seen him drink. Can he drink?
Beastman's glue.
Well, that didn't take long.
No. Anyway, where are we going with this?
Probably nowhere. This is the first subject. Well, where were we going with this? Oh, the origin. Yes.
Yeah, and that's what. And now I think we've talked about how irritating it would be just to have a skull for a face.
Yep. And now we're talking about how irritating it is just to have nowhere else to go when you just go out hard early without an actual end game in mind.
I think the lesson here is that we need a name that really defines what we're about. Based on what we've just done.
And I think the things that we stand for, like we're about quality.
Yeah, we're about preparation.
Planning. Yeah, planning, yeah.
Brevity.
Brevity, wit.
Something like the shit place.
What is shit? I'm thinking the crap den.
I like it.
Done.